friends, welcome to Holiday Paper Crafting. This month we're going to be working on a project for Arbor Day. Arbor Day was started back in 1872 by a member of Nebraska State Board of Agriculture. His name was Julius Sterling Morton, and he proposed the day of tree planting as a way to repopulate the state with trees. So we're going to get started with a fun little craft about trees, and I love trees. I don't know about you, but they're just so much fun. There's so many things you can do in a tree. You can climb it, you can sit in the shade and read a book or have a picnic. They're so awesome. Before we get started, I do want to share with you that the library has a lot of great books about trees. One of my favorites is Maple, and it's a story of a little girl that is actually named after a tree, and a tree is planted for her on the day she's born. We have Arbor Day Square, which talks about life on the prairie and planting trees, and there's some great Arbor Day facts in the back. We have Trees Make Perfect Pets. This one's a fun one. Wouldn't you love to have a tree as a pet? And then one of my very favorites is Our Tree Named Steve. This one's really great, and it talks about a tree that has been in the family's front yard the whole time they lived in their house. It's a great story. So let's go ahead and grab our craft kits and get started. So today for Arbor Day, we're going to be making a tree that's going to look something like this. And in your craft kit, you received your paper tube and a few sheets of green paper. You're also going to need a pair of scissors and some tape or glue stick, something like that you can use to adhere your green pieces to your tree. So in your packets, you have 3 different pieces of green paper. One is a lighter green and a medium, and then a dark green. If you grab the dark green, you'll kind of see that it's a little bit thicker than the other 2 pieces of paper. These are more of a construction paper style, where this one is cardstock. The cardstock paper, or the thick paper, is what we're going to use to make the base of the green part of our tree. It's a little sturdier. It will stand up for you. So make sure that you reserve that one for your actual tree top. So now that we went over the parts of our packet, let's get started. Step 1 of our project is to cut our green papers into strips that look like this. And we're going to use those strips to make the grass that is at the base of our tree, and we're going to use the strips to make the loops on our tree as well. Your loops won't have to be this large if you don't want them to be. You can make small loops about this size if you would like, or on the sample we made loops that were the full size of the strip. Or you can mix and match, whatever you like best. It is art, so it's whatever makes you happy that is the best way to create your project. So our first step is to cut our paper into strips. So you can do that with your scissors and just cut several skinny strips. Or you can make them wide if you like. Some of you might have moms and dads that have a paper cutter, and of course you can certainly use that as well. But it is kind of fun to get to use the scissors and cut your strips. I'm going to switch to the light green color because I have a pretty good pile of the dark green already. So I'm going to cut a few more strips. When I created the tree that I have off to the side, I did use the whole sheet of paper to create that because I put loops on the front and the back of the tree. That helped it keep its balance a little bit because it was too top heavy if I didn't put them on both sides. Maybe if you're using smaller circles, you wouldn't have as much of an issue with that. So go ahead and cut your strips all the way through until we are done with the whole sheet of paper, and then we'll start back up again. Super. Did you get all your paper cut into strips? Fantastic. We are ready to proceed then. The first thing that I would do is I would grab my paper tube that we supplied. And since these are little thicker tubes, we went ahead and cut a couple slits in your tube for you. This is where you're going to eventually insert your tree top. So we want to make sure when we're adding the grass that those slits are on the top side of your tube. We don't want to cover them up. So find those slits, put them up where they're on the top. Next, I'm going to grab one piece of my light green and one piece of my dark green strips, and I'm going to cut them into little sections so I can make grass that's growing up underneath my tree. So you can take those and you can just kind of decide like how long you want your grass to be. And I made mine different heights because if you go out into your yard, you'll see that your grass is not all the same. Sometimes it's tall and sometimes it's short. So I'm going to cut up some strips in a variety of lengths to use for the grass. I found that it's easier to do the grass first before we start working on the treetops. So get those sections cut, and when you have that done, we'll have you grab your glue stick or your tape and we'll start gluing. Great, you all have your grass cut. So the next thing you're going to do is grab that paper tube, and again, remember you want your slits towards the top, and I'm going to lay it down in front of you because I felt like it was a little easier to work that way. You can either put glue at the base of your tree and then attach your grass, or you can put glue on each individual strip of grass that will go on the bottom of your tree. You want to hold it down so it sticks really well, and then use the light and the dark and tall and short, and you can attach your grass around the base of your tree. And so I'm going to kind of do some tall and some short. Just press it down and it sticks pretty good. And again, you can tape these, or you can use your glue stick. Whatever you have handy will be just perfect. So we're getting pretty close here. So I'm going to let you go ahead and work on that, and I think we're going to go ahead and pause the video while I finish putting grass around my tube. So have fun adding your grass, and we'll be back in just a second. Super friends, did you get your grass placed around your tree? That is fantastic. What I did after I was done is then I just kind of gently squeezed that and held it and counted until 10. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to make sure the grass is on there very well. All right, so there we have the base of our tree. Super duper. All right, I'm going to put that off to the side. Our next step is to make our tree top. Now, 2 ways to approach this. You can draw it out with a crayon or pencil and then cut around, or you could just start cutting, whatever you feel like doing, whatever works best for you. I'm going to start cutting, and I'm going to make mine kind of a wavy kind of shape as a tree top for my tree, since that's what I did the first time. Now, you could certainly make a circle and then add your circles around it. So whatever look you want to do is just fine. So grab that piece of cardstock, so it's a little bit thicker green, and your scissors, and you can make the shape of your tree top. And again, wavy, a circle. Sometimes trees are more like an oval or even kind of pointy. So whatever you like the best. So this is kind of the type of shape that I thought I would use today. All right. What I found is the easiest is that I placed my cardstock tree top into the tube, and then I added the circles. That way I knew I wasn't covering up the place where the tree was going to slide into the trunk. So you can take your tree trunk and your cardstock tree topper and kind of wedge it into these little slits that we cut into your tube, and then just kind of edge it down. We cut them about 1 inch deep to make sure that it would be nice and sturdy for you. So this is kind of the look that we're going to go with. And once you have that done, you can set it off to the side, and we are going to work on making the loops that look like the leaves on your tree. All right, so you have your tree top into your basin. So the next step is to take your strips of green construction paper and make the loops for your tree. You can make your loops large, like this. You can make them medium size, or you can make them small. It's whatever look you like the best. Or you can mix and match. Now our paper is 2 different colors of green. One's a little lighter and one's a little darker, and it kind of gives it a little bit of texture in your tree. So for the next part, I'm going to show you how to make some loops for your tree. And so for that, again, you're going to need your glue sticks. So take your strip, add a little glue at the end, and then wrap it up on top of each other. Pinch it for just a little bit. Very good. And then set it off to the side. And I would recommend just making a few loops, or quite a few loops actually, to get you started. And then that way, the next step will just be attaching them onto your tree. So go ahead and make a bunch of loops, whatever size you wish. I think I'm going to cut some of these in half so I can kind of show you what small loops look like as well, so you can see what they're going to look like, since I don't have any on my example. So just kind of glue those together, pinch, and make your loops to use to decorate your tree. And again, for the other tree, I used the whole 2 sheets of construction paper to get that look. So that's quite a few strips. Quite a few. All right. There we have the tiny circles. And then you'll see on this how I put loops on both sides, because it does get a little wobbly. So that's why we need so many loops. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for just a second again while I make some more loops, and while you make some more loops, and then we'll come back and we'll start sticking those on our tree. So good job. Keep working hard. You're doing just great. All right, friends, we are back, and I'm going to assume that you've made all of your loops. I'm not going to create them all since you have an image of what the finished product looks like. I'm just going to kind of show you how to get started, and then you can make it the way that you wish it to look. Now, also in your package, you received a couple stickers, and so I would probably go ahead and add your stickers onto your tree before we put the loops on. And everybody has a little bit different batch of stickers that's a woodland or treed animal. In mine this time, I have a squirrel, so I'm going to take my squirrel and I'm going to put him down at the base of my tree. And the stickers are kind of a cardstocky sticker. So if you're putting them on your tree trunk, you might have to hold it for just a minute to get it to stick, because it might want to pop off since it's curved. Okay, so there's my squirrel. And then I also have a little red bird. I'm going to put him up in the tree here. And there's a little acorn nut that I'll put up there too on mine. So you can kind of see what that looks like. So that's how I've started my project. Now, to complete your project, this is where we're going to add our loops onto our tree. And to do that, I found that it was easiest for me to lay it down and work this way. You certainly could work with it standing up, just whatever works best for you. So I'm going to take my glue stick and my little loops, and I'm going to add some glue stick and just find a spot on the tree and place it down and hold it, and it will stick. So what I'm going to do is just start putting those all around. Now, some of you might be using tape, and that works just great as well. Some of you might have a double stick tape run around, and that works well. You just add a little bit of tape on the back side, about a 1/2 inch, and stick it around. And so it's kind of fun just to kind of place these all different directions, back and forth. And when you're all done, it's just going to look really amazing. Okay, so we'll just kind of go side to side to side and place them everywhere. And it ends up looking like leaves on a tree. And I imagine a lot of you have trees in your yard, and they are starting to bud out. It's been nice outside, and the trees are getting green. Some of you may have trees that actually have white flowers on them, and boy, they sure are looking very pretty. Trees are just pretty awesome things. Let's see if I have a spot for this last one. I'll just stick it up top here. So this is one side of my tree, like this. And now that I have this side done, what I would do is lay it on the table like this, and then I would add some circles to the back side of my tree, which then will make it look like this finished product, like this, and you're all set for Arbor Day. So thank you for crafting with us today. Go out and enjoy your trees out in your yard. Stop in at the library and grab a great tree book, and we will see you soon. Have a great day.